When I found that orange HOA violation slip taped to my shattered porch light, glass scattered like confetti from a party nobody wanted, I knew this wasn't just about aesthetics. My neighbor, Eleanor Harding, smirked from her lawn, thinking she'd won some grand victory. She had no idea I was a retired Delta Force commander, trained to dismantle threats far deadlier than her clipboard. Where are you reading this from? Share your location below, because what happened next in the manicured hell of Oakhaven Estates became a story nobody could ignore. They didn't kick in the door. They didn't smash windows or trip alarms. They barely bothered with the cameras. Just a lazy cut to the feed. That precision told me everything. This wasn't a robbery, not some sloppy hit. It was calculated, clean, deliberate. The violation slip read like a taunt. Exterior illumination after 10 p.m. disruption of community aesthetics. Non-compliant. Force correction enacted. Signed in Eleanor's flawless cursive, the kind you'd expect from a dictator with a budget for stationery. I stepped inside, and the silence hid not the kind of a sleeping house, but the kind when something vital's been ripped away. The air smelled of lemon cleaner and smug triumph. Too perfect, too still. My wife, Sarah, was gone. No struggle, no screams. The throw blanket was folded on the couch, remote tucked beneath her habit. Her coffee mug sat clean in the sink. Back door locked, deadbolt on. Her phone was on the counter, wiped to factory settings, showing one missed call, mine. Her keys were in the dish, but her wedding ring lay on the table, not tossed, not dropped, placed. Sarah never removed it. Not for chores, not even when she fractured her arm 2 years ago. It's not my hand without it, she'd said, slipping it onto her other hand in the hospital, her eyes fierce. For it to be here, still warm, meant she left it deliberately, a message for a moment she never got to escape. I froze, then moved to the hallway, steps silent, not sneaking, strategizing. The bathroom was pristine, lights off, except for a trash can with a pregnancy test box, one test missing. My pulse didn't spike. It slowed, my body grasping what my mind hadn't. Sarah hadn't told me yet, always timing her surprises like a mission. This was her quiet bomb, a future stolen before we could share it. I handled the box like it was C4, setting it down as my eyes caught a vanilla sage candle still burning. We never left flames unattended, not since a kitchen fire at Fort Hood. This wick was fresh, wax barely pooled. She'd lit it after they came, a signal. I didn't go willingly. I left a trail. Sarah's defiance wrapped in ritual, like when she'd knotted her scarf on a market stall in Iraq, leading me to her hiding spot in a butcher's freezer. Same grit, higher stakes. I grabbed my gear from the garage, flash drive, burner phone, and our challenge coin from a grueling op in Colombia, the only metal she said mattered. In the kitchen, I lifted the false bottom of a drawer for my backup ID, gloves, and a blade Sarah once sharpened for kicks. No prints, no panic, just precision. War teaches you to move or feel. And I had one job, move. Back on the porch, I peeled off the violation slip, folding it like a death warrant. Eleanor thought she ruled this neighborhood. She forgot some of us mastered rules to break them. Sarah didn't scream. She lit a candle. Now that flame was coming for Eleanor with a reckoning behind it. I started in the garage. No coffee, no distractions, just answers. The camera feed was dead, cable sliced clean, a 1/4-inch cut, no fray, not a glitch, a signature. I checked the auxiliary battery. It held 30 seconds of ghost footage. On my burner laptop, I pulled the hallway clip. Sarah, phone in hand, calm, no fear, staring into the lens like she was etching a map for me. Then she was gone, not a goodbye, a flare. The timestamp synced with a ping from her phone, forking to an HOA-controlled node. Eleanor wasn't just watching, she was hunting. I called Marcus, my old tech specialist. He answered half asleep. This a grab your gear problem or bring the hacksaw one? Both, I said, at his off-grid trailer surrounded by solar panels and stray cats. Marcus was ready, tablet in hand, coffee mug reading "Obedience is a Trap." I handed him the drive. He watched Sarah's footage in silence. "She knew," he said finally. "Yeah." He spun to his rig. "Let's make them regret it." Within minutes, he traced her phone's signal to an HOA network tap, a digital dragnet. "This isn't local," he muttered. "I built systems like this overseas. It's military-grade repurposed." Then tires crunched outside. Caleb, still in his deputy uniform, stepped out, looking like he'd seen a ghost. "I shouldn't be here," he said. "Good," I replied. "Means you're not dead inside." Caleb saw the screen and froze. Marcus pulled up a log. Sarah read pattern deviation escalated for correction. "That's not official," Caleb stammered. "Exactly," I said. "It's a purge." Marcus dug deeper. Caleb Morris passive archive access. "Low trust." Caleb paled. "I didn't report it. I thought it was a glitch." "You were a maybe until you showed up," I said. He led us to a gravel lot 20 minutes out, a backup node. Eleanor called it paperwork storage. Inside, steel drawers and humming servers sat under a blinking light. "She knows we're here," I warned. Marcus jacked in, finding Sarah's file flagged red for surveillance awareness. "They're moving her," he said. "Van's been mobile 3 hours. Shifting now." Then an SUV rolled up. Eleanor stepped out, polished as ever, like she was auditing a gala, not a kidnapping. She thought she held every card. She forgot I don't play by her deck. Eleanor stood on the gravel, hands clasped, smile serene. "Busy day, Mr. Reed." I shut the door behind me, not for secrecy, for control. She tilted her head, not curious, but twistedly predatory. "I hope you didn't disturb sensitive files," she said. "You made a trip to the archive," I replied. "Odd for a porch light issue." "I'm hands-on," she smirked, "when risk factors arise." Risk. High-clearance veterans poking around homeowner systems. "They're at war," dug into me. "You're not enforcing order," I said. "You're silencing defiance." Her mouth twitched, a tell. "You think I'm a tyrant?" she asked. "You're executing control," I said. She stepped closer, voice low. "Harmony's fragile. Some people need to see their consequences." "You erased her," I said. "We corrected a breach." She noticed. "Exactly." I advanced, voice steady. "You built a system to predict resistance." "She wasn't special," Eleanor whispered. "Some people crave chaos." Then she cut deeper. "She should have stuck to book clubs and roses. Might have lasted longer." The porch light flickered in my memory. I closed the gap, toe to toe. "This isn't about lights or dues. It's about who gets to exist without bowing to you." No flinch. "This isn't a community," I said. "It's your lab, and you're the weapon." Her eyes narrowed. "You're just like her, seeing wars where there's only management." "You built this," I said. "So, you know what happens when a piece breaks protocol? We isolate," she hissed. "And I neutralize," I replied. Her smile faltered, a crack. "You don't scare me." I leaned in. "I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to end you." She stepped back, composure slipping. "Enjoy your afternoon," she said, driving off, leaving a fuse burning. Marcus's signal vanished. At his trailer, his gear was gutted. Servers dead, cable stripped. His backup rig, hidden under the sink, was untouched. A note read, "Too perfect. It's a ghost." The convoy carrying Sarah was a decoy. I cross-referenced HOA records, finding a back road flagged for fertilizer overflow, a cover for a black site in Sector 22B. Sarah's watch, EMP hardened, held motion data, rhythmic pacing, coded pauses, spelling, Sector 22. Her soap cedar lemon scent lingered in the strap, her silent flare. I packed light, lock picks, scrambler, suppressors, Sarah's ring around my neck, and moved to Sector 22B. The irrigation shed was a facade, tire tracks fresh, wildlife absent. I crawled through a drainage ditch, bypassed a keypad, and entered a sterile hallway, storage, servers, a medbay with a used syringe, then Sarah, bound to a crossbar, for in her arm, gauze on her temple, breathing shallow. I cut her down, whispering her name. Her lips moved, faint. A note in her gauze read, "I bought us 10 minutes. It's not just Eleanor." Footsteps approached. A man in an HOA patched vest smirked. "She said you'd come." I shot him chest, head, before he finished. Sirens wailed as I carried Sarah out over the fence to an old RV lot. She stirred, alive. The note burned in my pocket. Not just Eleanor. Sarah woke slowly, eyes calibrating. "Hey," she rasped, smiling. "I'm here," I said. "RV dead drop, armory full." "Smart," she nodded, wincing as I helped her sit. She pulled a scorched paper from her boot. Circle 9 initiative clearance read. Pattern deviance rerouted through 9 gate node HOA zone alpha military font sign D. "It's not HOA," she whispered. "It's fed to them. Circle 9 sorts resistors. They wanted you to join," I said. "Said I'd come around after recalibration." My fists clenched. "You're not a machine. They think I am." A burner buzzed, Marcus's line, but not his voice. "John," it purred. "You deserve to understand before you destroy it." Sarah mouthed. "Do it. I want names." "All in time," I said. It chuckled, then cut. I knew where they'd be. Circle 9's heart. Days later, I got coordinates for a glass cube at an airstrip. Inside, a man with silver hair and a scarred cheek waited. "Call me D," he said. "No last name." "Efficiency." He offered a seat. I stood. "Compliance psychology?" he asked. "You built an HOA to feel powerful," I said. Karen was a pressure test. It clicked. Eleanor was bait. "You study how people break," I said. "I observe how they bend," he corrected. "You're training obedience, like the military." I let it hang. I volunteered. Sarah did too. He spun a tablet showing flag profiles. Sarah's circled. Phase 2. Acquisition. You're collecting people, identifying variables. Sarah's name flashed. Conversion initiated. "You're recruiting kids who think," I said. "Reprogramming instability," he replied. "You're a parasite." "I'm a system." "Systems don't lose. They get replaced," I said. "I'm bringing fire." He exhaled. "This was a courtesy." "No," I said. "Your mistake." His jaw twitched as I walked out. At 3:04 a.m., Caleb messaged, "We need to talk." We met under a bridge. He was a wreck, sweaty, twitchy. "They're moving node 0, he stammered. Circle 9's a human filter for deviance. He'd altered logs for Eleanor and D, then got flagged himself. He handed me a scorched keycard for the admin vault's relay corridor. "You run, I find you," I warned, tossing him a traced water bottle. He vanished into the fog. Bait now. Node 0 hid under the HOA's unfit admin building. Blast glass, infrared, a vault door. Caleb's card opened it. Inside, sterile corridors led to Eleanor, in black, hair pinned, monitors blinking with flagged lives. "Wondered when you'd arrive," she said. "You don't get to say my name," I snapped. "This is efficiency," she claimed. "Correction, you erased lives." We refined obedience. D entered, bored. "You weren't meant to reach here." "Better fences," I said. "This was a study," he replied. "Now it's complete." "You'll trigger a purge," Eleanor warned. Node 0 locks. Everything burns, including Sarah. I paused. Then Sarah stepped in, gun raised, alive. She handed me a pregnancy test, positive. "Meant to confirm it," she shrugged. They hadn't just targeted her, they targeted our child. I dropped Caleb's beacon on the console. "Live streams active," I said. To everyone. Screens shifted, broadcasting their files, voices, faces, every resident, every deviant watching. Eleanor lunged, screaming, "Stop it." Her commands failed. Lights cut, but the stream lived in the cloud. Tactical agents stormed in, cuffing her as she ranted about my loss. D walked out, unfazed. You lost, I said. I evolved, he replied, vanishing. I typed delete all archives into the console. Irreversible. Yes. The screens went black. Outside, the air felt raw. Sarah waited in the truck. Finished? Yeah, I said. It's gone. Good, she whispered. We drove east, settling in a simple house. No fences, no rules. Sarah's bump grew fast. She handed me a notebook for baby names. I held the pen, stunned by building a future, not a fight. I fixed hinges, roofs, fences, not for war, for permanence. A gun stayed close, instinct, but I wasn't gearing up. Eleanor was gone. D vanished. Circle 9, Ash. The victory wasn't their fall. It was this peace. We survived their erasure. Now we write our legacy, not in blood, but in the quiet joy of a life reclaimed, the gentle curve of Sarah's belly, and the promise of a future where our child would never know the cold grip of their control. The cycle of their twisted order ended with the deletion of their archives, leaving us free to build a world defined by love and choice, not by fear and forced compliance.